There is a particular kind of pain that visits you in the quiet hours, long after the argument has ended, long after the person has walked away, perhaps even long after they have forgotten what they said entirely. You lie awake replaying their words. You rehearse the comeback you didn't give. You feel your chest tightened at the memory of their tone, their dismissal, their cruelty, and you wonder why a person who means so little to your actual life has taken up so much space inside your mind. This is not weakness. This is not something wrong with you. This is a universal human experience. And 2,000 years ago, men who had far more reason to suffer than you do solved this exact problem, not with a technique, not with a trick, but with a complete reordering of how the mind relates to the actions of others. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the known world, woke each morning and wrote to himself that he would meet with the ungrateful, the arrogant, the deceitful, the envious, and the antisocial. He did not write this to prepare for disappointment. He wrote it because he understood something that most people never learn until great suffering forces them to. Other people will act according to their own nature, their own wounds, their own confusion, and no amount of your hurt feelings will change that nature. The Emperor of Rome, a man who could have executed anyone who insulted him, chose instead to guard something far more valuable than his reputation. He guarded his own mind. This is the foundation of what the Stoics called the dichotomy of control, and it is far more radical than it first appears. It states plainly that some things are within your power and some things are not. Your opinions, your judgments, your desires, your reactions, these belong to you completely. But the words of another person, their opinion of you, whether they respect you or mock you, whether they stay or leave, these things were never yours to control in the first place. Epictetus, who spent his early years as a slave and was once beaten so severely by his master that his leg was permanently broken, taught this principle not as an abstract philosophy but as a survival mechanism forged in real suffering. He said that people are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of those things. The insult itself is nothing. It is empty air. What gives it power is your decision to let it in, to hold it, to feed it with attention it does not deserve. Consider what actually happens in your mind when someone criticizes you unfairly. There is the event itself, a sentence spoken, a look given, a slight delivered. Then there is a second event, entirely separate, which is your internal story about what that sentence means. Your brain, wired by millions of years of evolution to detect social threat, treats rejection and criticism as if they were physical danger, activating the same neural pathways that once warned your ancestors of predators. This is why a single cruel comment from a stranger can occupy your thoughts for days, while 100 kind words disappear without a trace. Modern psychology now confirms what Seneca understood intuitively when he wrote to his friend Lucilius about the foolishness of being wounded by words. He observed that we suffer more in imagination than in reality, that the anticipation and rehearsal of pain often causes more damage than the actual event ever could. Your mind is not simply recording what happened. It is amplifying it, replaying it, building an entire courtroom drama in which you are both prosecutor and victim. And the person who wronged you is not even present to answer for it. This is where the Stoic practice of strategic silence becomes essential. Not silence as weakness, not silence as avoidance, but silence as a deliberate act of power. When someone attacks you, their entire strategy often depends on your reaction. They want to see you flinch, defend yourself, explain, justify, or collapse into anger, because your reaction confirms that they still have influence over your inner state. The moment you respond with heated words, you have already lost the very thing you were trying to protect. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is to not be like the person who wronged you. This is not passive resignation. It is the highest form of self-mastery, because it requires you to feel the sting of the insult fully, to acknowledge its presence, and still choose not to let it dictate your next action. Silence, held with calm dignity, communicates something no argument ever could: that your peace does not depend on their approval. There is a deeper layer to this teaching, one the Stoics called immunity to criticism, and it does not mean becoming numb or cold. It means understanding precisely where your worth actually comes from. If your sense of value depends entirely on what others think of you, then you have handed the keys of your own happiness to every stranger, every colleague, every family member who has ever had an opinion about your life. This is an unbearable weight to carry, because people are inconsistent, moody, and often unkind for reasons that have nothing to do with you at all. Epictetus taught that we must ask a simple question whenever we feel wounded by another's words. Does this person's opinion actually change who I am, what I value, or how I choose to act with virtue? If the answer is no, then the criticism, however sharp, is simply noise passing through a room you no longer need to occupy. This brings us to perhaps the most profound and difficult Stoic principle of all, the practice the ancients called amor fati, the love of fate. It asks you not merely to tolerate what happens to you, including the cruelty of others, but to accept it so completely that you no longer wish it had been different. This does not mean approving of injustice or excusing genuine harm. It means recognizing that every difficult person who has ever crossed your path has also been, without their knowledge, a teacher of patience, of discernment, of your own capacity for calm. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal from men he trusted, yet he wrote that the obstacle in the path becomes the path itself. Every insult you have survived has already made you more difficult to disturb. The person who hurt you does not need your forgiveness to move forward, nor your anger to be punished. What you need is the quiet, unshakable understanding that your peace was never theirs to take, only yours to surrender. Guard it the way an emperor guards his empire, not with walls, but with the simple daily choice to remain the author of your own mind, undisturbed by those who never deserved the power you almost gave them.